Hello, my name is Marcus and welcome to another episode of Tabletop Reviews. Today I'm having a look at Endangered. It's beautiful artwork on the cover, a game about saving animals from extinction. Yeah. I'm with the base game in here, I also have the freaking expansion, but I'm not going to look at every scenario, just a quick overview. Let's get it to the table and do that quick overview, shall we? Alright, let's see if I can remember how to set this game up and just get the box off here. There we go. Oh no, I didn't remove the lid. Oh no, it's just the rulebook. The new species little rulebook pamphlet here. And then you have all of the species here. They all have special cards for them and then of course special meeples for them. So you just pick the one you want to use. I'm gonna go with the basic one. I'm gonna go with the otters. They're in the basic game, the base game of it. And these to the side here, and then we have this bag, big bag here of all the characters. We're gonna need that in just a second. Money, these things, this thing, and these things, and here we have the main central board. And there are two sides to it. It's a jungle side, and you have a water side. Funnily enough, for the freaking otters, we're gonna need the water side. Alright. And also for the otters we're going to need some special ones and these ones. So you have dry, this, and then these, the pollution of the water. That's what we're going to need for the otters. So what you could do is just go through these ones here and just find all of the ones with pollution. I'm just going to grab a handful here because I'm not going to play a full game anyways. To show how it works. But yeah, you would get a handful of these. There should be just about an equal amount of everyone, all of them. I think some might have more. Alright. Right. So you have these ones here. These are the impact cards. These are the bad things that are going to happen throughout the game. You shuffle these up. And usually we place them here at the bottom of this one. And you have these green tokens. These ones. You just kind of place them to the side here. And you have the calendar which is going to mark where you're at. Of course, we started at year 1. And here you'll see a special set of rules for this sea otter. There are 22 of these, and it's actually the wrong ones. It's the oil spill, not the pollution ones. But I'm just going to use those. Just know these are the correct ones to use. And you have how you set them up here. Here would be any special rules. They don't have any. And you have the specific rules for them in terms of destruction, which is when you place these ones out. There's a special rule for them. And yeah, and then you have 3 ways to play. So you have an easy, a normal, and a hard mode. So yeah, the tigers also get this one, but of course the new species had this little rule pamphlet here, where you have a page for everyone with all the same information on here. So yeah, that's how it works. So let's just set up the sea otters here as they wanted us to. Alright, fill out the entire third row here. And then 2, 1 here and 1 here. Bam, and we should have 2, 4, 6, 7. I don't know why I have so many extra, but I'm just gonna have them here, I don't give a shit. Yeah, and then these ones, of course, should be the different ones, and should be way larger. We'll just get fuck off. Let's get the correct tiles here. Misremembering which tiles I used. That's not good. So it's these tiles that I actually used. And there should be 22 of them according to the rule book. Anyways, impact tiles there, these green ones here, and then what you will have to do next, well, not necessarily next, you have these 2 die right here, which is a bad and a good die, I will have to say. And then you bring out these cards right here. Oh, that's the solo cards. And then this. That's for other scenarios to be used. So you have the grey back ones, the green back ones, and the blue back ones. You will pick out 3 blue back ones, 3 blue back cards up here. Just gonna put them back here. 2 green back and 1 with a gray back. These are the countries that you are going to have to try and make vote yes to have the otters be endangered. Alright, now we have the big setup here, which is the player setups, and I have a whole bunch of stuff here. Whole bunch of stuff. So just to pick the top 2 here, environmental lore and zoologist. Then you have a little square thing here. And can I get it out? Bam, that's incorrect. This is the correct one. Need to remember to do it correctly. Bam, the rest one we put aside. No, this we put aside one here. Then you have a special bit of a few cards here. Let's just get at the correct ones. These cards represent a special power you will have throughout the entire game. You'll pick one of these to use as your special power throughout the game. Just gonna place it here, and this is all just to showcase, of course. Just put it there. And this one aside as well. And of course you will have 3 dice in your color. There we go. Now that was the setup, and then you have this one, and then you have some money here, and sometimes they'll ask you to start with money. I usually start up with 2 million. Just that's the best thing to do, like seriously. Oh yes, and of course you have a group of your own little deck of cards here. So many moving parts. The green deck for you, and wait, that's wrong. Of course, the brown deck down here for you, and set aside again. All right, bam. Now we're just doing this one. Shuffle this shit up. You'll have starting hand of like, fuck, two cards. I'm not gonna check the rule book. I can't remember whether it's 2 or 3. It's gonna start with 2 cards. In the end, it doesn't matter that much. Now you're basically ready to start. Alright, so to start the turn, you will roll your die. Bam. And then you have these ones to place out. To start with, these only 4 action spaces. Once you get in, you can play these cards to get more action spaces. So here, for example, play a card, and you can get some special action places or ones. For example, this is a once move thing, and this is an new action card to be placed. Yes. Now the rules are, in a 2-player game, you need to have your friend need to have 2 higher to do something. So, for example, if you both want to play a card, you should probably play a lower, so he can also play a card. Yeah. You always have to be 2 higher when you're 2-player, and every other scenario is just 1 higher. But basically, you place them out. You have move 1 animal, 1 space. You can move it like this. Pay him 1 million to remove 1 destruction. It's not right now. Play a card. Just to play down a card. I don't know which ones. Where was it? This one had a good card. Where the frick is it at? There it was. Move up to 3 different animals, 1 space each. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Because the thing is, now you have a bunch of mating pairs, which is good. You have a little discard pile there. And of course, you can end the game 1 million or draw a card. So just drawing up an extra card. And these are the basic actions, and then you have a bunch of different ones that can come from your deck. Now then, that was the action phase, so to speak. Now you have the offerings offspring space. You have the offspring dice, which is the rice. Fucking, I can't talk. The orange die is offspring dice, and now you're in offspring space. So you roll the die, and then you have to roll equal to or less than the amount of your breeding pairs plus 1. So right now I just need to roll a 5 or less, which is most of the die, and I rolled a 3. And then you add 1 animal to a mating pair, adjacent to 1. So like there, that's adjacent to 1. So yeah, now you're in the destruction phase. And the destruction phase is, of course, where the hell did my sheet go? The destruction phase is, of course, special to the animal you're playing as. Where the hell did my otter sheet go? So I can read the rules and then like give you an example. What? Oh, it's here. So the destruction phase is according to these destruction rules. The otters is roll the dice row. Receive the pollution tile. If there is no sea otter in that row, move up or down until you reach a row where there is at least 1 sea otter. Then place the pollution into the space furthest from the shore. Does not really contain blah blah blah. So basically, you roll the destruction die, and it is row 5, which is down here. Oh no, there is no otter. So row move 1 up or 1 down, and here you have a choice. But if, for example, this pair was here, then you could move up here or 1 space down. You have to move 2 down to space 6, and you place a pollution furthest away from shore. That's the sea otter rules. Now this changes based on the scenario you're playing. But if a destruction were to be placed, for example, right here, well, these 2 are lost. They're gone from the play. There's of course going to show some up. For example, over here, we're going to pay 1 million to remove 1 destruction. So that's something we are going to do throughout it. Yes. And then you have the impact phase, so to speak. You just simply take the top card here and see what it says. And these can be different ones, something. And yeah, it's going to change. This looks like something good. Image roll and die. Yeah, sometimes it's something good, sometimes it's something really bad. Yeah. Oh fuck. What I forgot is when you start your turn, you place your marker on top of the year here, because then you start, and then your opponent your friend goes ahead and places his on top, and then whoever has theirs on top for the next year is going to start, and that way you're going to change it around a little bit. Who starts and who stops. Yeah, and then you also draw a card just to end your turn. And yeah, and then you have a year end, which is when everybody ends their year. So, one thing is you have voting years over here on the side. I think I need to take the camera just to show you a little bit clearer here. These ones say here, these are 2-player voting years, 3-player voting years, 4-player and 5-player, of course. In voting years, you look whether these countries over here have voted. Let me just show you an example of a country card with voting. So here, this is Peru, and they want you to the amount of ambassadors with at least 1 influence, plus all the influence here. What that basically means is the cubes there, the influence. So if you placed 5 influence on this card, you need to put 1 influence on these 5 other ones up here to get a 10 or more in total. And that is, well, it's simple enough, I suppose. Active persistent impacts plus the influence here, you know, these are example of countries, and you have to, you know, have that amount of influence or whatever to make them vote yes or make them vote no. And if they vote yes in a voting year, then well, you won. And if they vote no, you move on. And if it's the last voting year and everybody doesn't, and you don't have enough voting yes, you need 3 or 4. Well, it's 4. But the sea otter expand has a way of you only need 3. But usually you need 4 votes, which is a majority. Yeah, Yeah. Another way to lose if there's only one animal or 0 animals left on the board, because then you can't repopulate. It's fucked. You're done. And if you run out of destruction in your supply. So we have 22. If your player has to play a 23rd, you've lost the game. Those are the ways to lose the game, and the ways to win the game is just have a yes vote. Right, I covered basically all of this. This is probably one of my worst overviews of a game, but that's because I just kind of gloss over this one. There is, how many scenarios do I have? There's 2 in the base game, and then you have, how many in the expansion? Let me just see here. Boy. So 2 in the base game, then you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 scenarios plus the Giant Panda scenario, which I don't own. So you have 9 different scenarios to play in this game if you want to explore it. Anyways, let's get back to wherever I am at sitting and talk about my final thoughts on this game. And there we go, that is the quick overview, and I'm just going to turn this off. It's making a little bit of noise, so I'm afraid that might interfere too much with what I'm saying. That would be annoying. Anyways, Endangered, you had the quick overview there, and gameplay, what the fuck gameplay? I think it's fine. I like the fact of like trying to get countries to vote. I don't know how thematic that is, but it is sort of thematic. That's what people do. And the countries that are more difficult to get to vote, Endangered, that is, I think it's very thematic. Like China is difficult to get to vote for that. Of course they are. Canada and Germany are easier. Of course they are. It makes sense actually. So I like that. And like just like trying to build up a grid together, because you are a team and everybody has access to something, and you as a team are trying to make this work. And there's a few things I will touch upon a little bit later on, but let's talk, like, the theme is one that I'm going to complain about, but I think the gameplay is fine. You go around and then you have a turn where something bad might not happen. We'll get to that. And also you have, well, the card playing it's fine, like having the dice rolling there and the numbers. They make sense, and having one higher or something. You could be very unlucky, and that's sort of the thing where like I think you should roll all the dice first and sort of discuss, like I start out, what should I do, what is important for everyone to do, what is important that we do multiple times, because it makes sense. Like if I'm just like, I need to draw a card, well I'm the only one, well use your 5 on that, just draw a card, like, it doesn't matter. But if we have to put a bunch of cubes on right now, then use your 1, so we can do that 2 or 3 times in the turn, and put some cubes on those motherfuckers, playing cards, whatever. And therefore you should roll all your dice first and discuss it out. And then we have the problem with cooperative games. I've touched upon this before. You are going to get some people who are going to go there and say you should do this and you should do this, and it happens. Like you have to play with someone who's at the same level as you. I talked about this in terms of the Viticulture World, quickly touched upon it. I should give a review of that one soon. But me and a mate who really likes playing the game, we really did that. We hit off each other. Played this with my fiance, I bossed her around. Played this with a bigger group. Me and him, we ended up bossing it around a little bit because we just understand more and we're quicker to do it, and people don't say anything to us. And that's a really big bad thing about cooperative games. If it's a competitive game, then you're more like not going to say anything. I'm not going to fucking help you, you're my opponent. But this one, I need to help you because you're my friend. Ah man. That's a big issue I have with cooperative games. Anyways, what else is that amazing about the gameplay? It's fine. I like the card powers, that makes sense. The dice placement thing is nice. Of course I really like it extra more, for instance, creature comforts. Love creature comforts for that. It's a bit different in here, but it makes a lot of sense, and you're trying to work together, and it's really cool. Thematically, it's just interwove theme into this one, because it is a complaint about the theme, the gameplay thing that I have. So the theme is awesome. Saving animals from extinction. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't want to save the tigers? Look at that beautiful face. Who want to be saved? Or the ushers, or the whatever there might be of freaking expansion things. You want to save those animals. You want to, you know, save them. And that's an awesome thing. And then you are some different people. You are an environmental lawyer. You are a natural photographer, or the Hollywood star. All these kinds of different roles. Now where does this fall apart? It makes sense these people want to do this. Where it falls apart is in the powers that they have on the cards, and just the general powers, they don't feel thematic whatsoever. You have this setup. And like even just the money actions, you have the base same cards about like money actions and cube actions, which is fine. But seriously, that should be so. It's just the text on the cards. If you're the wildlife photographer, release a freaking photography book, whatever, man. And then you like make money from selling these awesome photography book. Like seriously. And when you get to some countries to, yes, you have an awesome campaign of like pictures you've taken. That's just the thematic touch, right? That's where it is. As a lawyer, you're more cutthroat. You're more of a legal person. That should be put in. Just it might be the same outcome. Put 1 cube on or get 2 million or whatever. It should be the same outcome, but just the text on the cards. And then you have the special abilities that they have. Some of them are fine. Some of them just fall flat. Honestly, there's nothing that screams, I am a wildlife photographer, I am an environmental lawyer, I am a freaking nature documentarian, or whatever the hell they are. There's none of these that make me feel like I am that. Because they're just not there. It's not there. The theme is not there. In terms of the character, sure. In terms of saving the animals and the movement and stuff, I guess it makes sense. And what happens in the bad ones, that also, of course, also makes sense. In terms of what is threatening these animals, it's these things. It makes sense. But you just need that thematic touch as a player. Some more, like, what's it called, asymmetrical play. So you do things that are specific to you as the character you are, but you don't do that. You don't do that, it's annoying. Right, that's the theme. I've touched upon the theme, it's good, but it just falls flat. Incredible. Let's talk about components in here, because the components are great. There's some meeples of all the animals, they're great, you know what animals they are, it's amazing. Cards, good quality, I love the artwork. It's beautiful artwork, most of it's beautiful artwork. So yeah, the board is cool, and all the little squares that you use. It's cool that they're double-sided, and it can be annoying to find all the ones that you need, but like, yeah, whatever. So yeah, I was quick glossing over that shit. Yeah, components are fine, it's good quality components, good, awesome artwork. So, does it lie to you? Does it say it is? 10 and up, 1 to 5 players, 60 minutes of game time. 60 minutes fairly accurate. I would say yeah, 60 to maybe 90 minutes, just about there. That's the time it will take you, depending on your play account. Go 10 and up. Some of the things are fairly it's fairly easy enough, and I think it's good for younger to understand this and the badness of what the hell happens to the others, to the tigers, to the whatever. So yeah, sure. 1 to 5 players. Now here comes the next complaint, because the more players you are, the more difficult it gets. Right? We played a full 5-player count. We hadn't even the half of the rounds that a 2-player game have. How in the world are we supposed to draw up the cards we need and play the cards we need and use the actions that we need when we don't have the time to do it? And the more players you are, the more bad things are going to happen. And that's a thing I need to touch upon. The things where just every player draws up, more and more bad things happen, and it's not going to be balanced. If you're 2 players, you draw 2 bad things per turn. That makes sense. 3, to draw 3, getting a little bit more difficult. 4 or 5, where you draw 4 or 5 bad things every single turn, it's becoming incredibly unbalanced. You're not, and especially with the lower amount of rounds, that's the big thing. If you had the same amount of rounds, maybe. But because we don't, we can't do it. We don't have enough time to do it. We're not enough players to do it. We're going to get fucked in the ass. We were close to winning, and then we drop that one really bad thing in the fucking tiger one, and it completely screws us over, and we're done. Because that's how quickly it is. And how quickly it goes when you're 5 players. You just do that, and you're done. And that's where I just have to say that is shit. If you rely on doing that, less rounds, more bad things. Sure, you're more players, but it's not balanced. You get too few rounds, too many bad things, and yes, you're more players, but you don't have the time to do anything about it. It is shit when you do that. So 2 or 3 players, I sort of enjoyed it. At 4 or 5, I was just sitting there going like, when are we fucking gonna die? We're not gonna win this. I just know it already. Like, look at what we're doing here. We're fucked. We're done. Solo I've never, of course not played. I don't play solo. So this is really just a lower player count game. My fucking god, I hate that kind of stuff. So what's my rating going to be for this game? I don't know. When I first played the 2-player game, I had an initial reaction of 9. It's dropped down to 6 now. It's down to a 6. It's still fine. It's a thematic disconnect. It's shit. There's more players. There's a thematic disconnect, and it's just absolutely fine. As I am keeping it, I'm not. I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to sell this game because I can't. It's so like. I just don't want to play it. Like I haven't played all the scenarios. I have the feeling like I'm going to play all the scenarios, see if there's something that's good. But every time it's like I just don't want to. I just don't want to play it, and that's an issue. When you don't want to play a game, you shouldn't have that game. This one is going to someone who hopefully will want to play it. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Tabletop Reviews. Until next time. Bye.